Hey everyone, I'm gonna give it a couple minutes, see if anybody pops in. Maybe not. I will be right back. Sorry. Hey everyone. Hey Tank. I, uh, I'm just, I don't know, I guess I had a couple minutes to kill and I haven't done this in a while. And I thought I would say, hey, American Prepper, good evening. It is a wonderful evening. Oh, how are you tonight? I don't know where you guys are at, but where I'm at, there is a beautiful crescent moon. It's clear. Hey Derek, it's clear. It's got a pretty good breeze. So the wind may, if it gets too bad, then I'll cut it short. But the wind is wonderful. Michigan. Oh, how warm is it there? I don't know. Oh, good. Someone's coming in the parking lot and parking against the grain. So I'm out pulling the band trailer for my kiddos, which is wonderful. I like doing that. And I've been out walking. The school that we're at is just got a huge campus. So I've been out walking, enjoying it. But, oh, well, I wish we'd get some rain. We may get some rain here in northwest Arkansas next week. Not a huge chance of it, but a little bit. So what have you guys got planned for this weekend? Are you getting out? Are you gotta work? You got plans to have some kind of adventure, hopefully? I mean, I say that it's still early. Some people are not even off work yet. Even just regular day shift people. Which I take for granted sometimes. Because I, at 4. Yeah, I could probably run and do a food run tomorrow. Oh, farm work. I do have to do cows first morning, but hopefully everything's intact and that'll be fine. Derek, that sounds like fun. I thought about going out and kayaking a little. We don't have any flowing water around here because it's been so dry, and lakes are a little bit. I don't know. We don't have any big lakes that I drive to. We have some relatively close. I don't know if I'm gonna go out to my little cabin and spend the day and kind of do an inventory, rotate some stuff around, or if I'm gonna go try to put my boat on the water. I know I've got to do something. In 2.5, 3 weeks since I've done anything for myself, and I have been a jerk, a huge jerk. Which I really work hard to let anyone see that, but it is. It's right in there. My heart is right here on my sleeve. Because of that, I get my feelings hurt pretty easy, and I can turn into a butthead. And I take it out on the ones that I care the most about. my normal weekend running group, it all has plans. Scout has, Scout has 2 weeks from 16-year-old boy plans. He's going to run around with his buddies. And I can't blame him. I was that age too and wanted to run around. And, you know, I want him to go out with me. I want him to throw in his bug out bag and go spend the weekend with me in the woods. But I'm not going to force him. My daughter has to work, and then she is, they're called events in a computer game, but Minecraft, she plays that game a bit. And some of these people on YouTube you see that play and have millions of people following them, she is one of their moderators. Like they set up events when she can be there so she can help. I don't know what they moderate on games like that, but that's what she does. And then of course my wife is like, you can go outside, I'll just stay home. "500 feet away, having a lake there would be great." So here in Northwest Arkansas, we have, there's 3 that right there around Fayetteville. There's one big one in Fort Smith. There's one up in Rogers. There's 3 or 4 around there. There's several within 10 or 15 miles. But I don't want to take the trailer. Like if I want to go take my kayak out, I've got kayaks on a trailer. But if I'm only taking one, then I got to throw it in the truck, and I've got a cover on the truck, and all these excuses on why I can't get out and take the boat. And that's all they are, is excuses. But hiking, I say hiking. You guys have seen me in videos. I'm not a hiker. I'm a walker. Now I can walk with my bug out bag. I can take everything that I'm gonna carry. I'm blessed that I'm kind of a minimalist in what I have to have, because I've been camping my whole life. Now I love to camp with the lanterns and the table and the Dutch ovens and all that stuff. But I can also camp with just my backpack and still have just as good a time. Usually better, actually, because when I have Dutch ovens and I have my full cook setup, then I feel obligated to cook for the whole world. I mean, everybody. I get, so we had a preparedness weekend. Oh, it's been 3 months ago. And we went there, and of course, Bobo and I went, and Scout was with us. And so we took, we've got 2 big Dutch ovens, just all kinds of things. Lanterns and big propane tanks and cots and a big tent and canopies and coolers and super car camping. I mean, look, if you're going to do it, might as well do it right. So we went there, but I spent the whole weekend. Okay, well, for breakfast, I need to do this, and this, and I need to use this tool and this tool and this tool, because I want to practice with those equipment, with the Dutch ovens and the skillets and the ovens, and then I'm like, oh well, the potluck, they say bring whatever you're going to eat for yourself and bring that to potluck. Well, I make a 12-inch Dutch oven cobbler and a 12-inch Dutch oven scalloped potatoes and sausage. That could feed the 3 of us that went for 3 days. Versus my bag, in my bag, I have a jet boil, and I have Currently, I have two MREs. They're the Apex, or not Apex. I don't remember the brand. I'll look here in just a second. And then I have 3 or 4 freeze dried meals, and like some granola bars. And for me, that's that's plenty of food to get from. Even here, I'm at an away game for my son's school, and even here, we have enough in our bags that are in the truck that we could walk home and still eat 2 good meals a day. Because it's not, our circle isn't huge. And that's a blessing. A lot of people don't have that. So I'm not complaining about that. Let's see here. I'm reading some comments. So Tank, I'm embarrassed. I still have not taken my ham license test. I've got the app, where you do the questions. I'm consistently above 70, 75, 80%. Hey, Mark. And I just haven't found someplace that's offering the test in my area when I can be there. And that is totally an excuse. I know everybody's got an excuse, and I have lots of them too. Particularly because I have the equipment. I have no reason not to go get my ham license other than the big L on my chest that stands for lazy. And I think some of that, before people get all upset about, oh, Travis isn't a ham. I'm on the radio. I have 2 jobs. I'm a fireman and a policeman. And I know the radio traffic and the rules are different, but I'm talking on a radio all day, all night, all the time. And I wish it was a priority. And I hate it because the radio guy in my group is awesome. He is wonderful, and he encourages us and wants us to be able to talk so much that the radio in my truck is, I had a mag mount antenna, which was not enough antenna to communicate between my house and his house, or my house and Bobo's. I mean, I was the missing link in the net. And so he's like, okay, well, to heck with you. And so he bought me the antenna, and he even came to my work. So I had no excuses. And while I was at work, he installed my antenna, did a wonderful job. I can't see any of the wires. I did a wonderful job. Hey, good evening. And he's like, there you go. And so on our open channels, which are like normal everyone channels, that you don't have to have a license for, or I guess technically even the GRMS ones, you're supposed to have that $10 license. So anyway, so it works, and I can use it on other channels that I do talk on, like some of my work ones. I don't know, I just haven't done it. And I know that I should. Arkansas living. So you have sparked a big nest of activity up here with me, and that's good. I'm proud. I'm excited, and I love that. The other morning I made a video about Bobo's new solar system, and if you haven't checked him out, you guys need to go to Arkansas Living's page. So he made this video of, here is my experience with the solar company, and it's the same one. So if you want to know who it is, go watch my video, and it'll name it. So I posted the video that I made about it, and I shared that with a good acquaintance of mine that works for that company. And then as soon as Arkansas Living made his video, because most of his stuff I watch pretty quick, I mean, I do. I like him. He's a cool guy. Unfortunately, I like it when he gets riled up, so don't get mad at me, but I love it. You got this, you lean into the camera thing, and it's awesome. Somebody's in my office. Anyway, so he made a video about his experiences with solar, and he has had a negative experience with that company. Hey guys, you are certainly not late. And so not only did I send my video to my acquaintance who works there, but I sent Arkansas Living's video to them as well. And it is on its 4th tier up the chain. Dusty. So Arkansas Living, I need, if you want, if you don't want, that's totally fine, because I know your contacts are probably, if not some of the same, they're in the same chain of command. But I'm trying to cause a stink about you being unhappy. And the third level up, not the salesman, not the zone guy, but the next one up, he says he wants to make it right. And so I don't know if he's going to message you at your channel, or if you're interested, you can send me a message. You can email me at travis@adventurefrontier.com, or go to my, nwaprepper.com and message me with your contact information if you want them to have it. If you're already, charging ahead from down your side, that's fine too. I'm not saying anything different could happen, but your video has made them concerned, and they're communicating with me on how they can make it right. And of course, I just tell them to go to your video and say, watch this. These are the things you can do to make it right. It's not complicated. So they seem like they want to help. So anyway. Oh, Bentonville. So I am on the other side of Northwest Arkansas than you. Good evening. So in Bentonville, did you guys get any rain this last week? We got like a sprinkle, and they said it was a storm. But in Fayetteville area, we didn't get anything. I mean, nothing to speak of. Oh, let me show you that meal. Give me just a second. So, trying to find the brand on it. Oh, there it is. SOPAKCO. So that is the brand that I'm carrying right now. It doesn't have as many calories as a military one, but I got this for $3. And so, and not to mention that, but it's spaghetti with meat sauce, and I like spaghetti. It's one of my favorites. This particular brand, I'm real fond of the ravioli, like beef ravioli. I like it a lot. Not enough to eat it every day, but to have it in a bag and be a pleasant meal. So Lone Wolf, I've had this brand before, but the menu items I got this time were a little bit different. I haven't tried the cheese tortellini, which I think is the other one that's in my bag, because I have 2 of these meals that can be heated on the run, or right away without doing anything, and then the rest of it that I carry is freeze dried. And that's just really just because I got a really good deal on it. I'm trying. So there's a football game going on about 2,000, 2,500 yards away. And so I'm listening for halftime. And when it gets close to halftime, I'm going to run and watch Scout do his band thing. I'm so proud of my son. I know I talk about him all the time, and he pops in on videos. I'm so proud of him. He is a blessing that I don't deserve. My whole family is. Zub Zub, I'm glad you like the cheese tortellini, because that's, if I go out tomorrow to my bug out cabin, that's probably what I'll have for lunch. So Lone Wolf, I have enough of a salt issue. I don't add salt to anything. And even when I do buy these meals, I only buy the reduced sodium ones, which I know there's still a bazillion things of sodium in there, but. So from here, sounds like a good game. Well, from here, the angle of the stands, I can't hear if it's my son's side or the other side. So, but it does sound like an exciting game. And sometimes I feel bad for running to the parking lot. Sometimes. Sorry, I'm reading a couple of the comments. So Barbara, I agree. As a general rule, well, actually, except for we keep some in my truck and in my wife's car, and then we have some cash buckets out, and then some to replace what we use in our bug out bags. We don't use the pre-made foods, the pre-made meals like MREs or Mountain House or something. The bulk of our food storage is things that we normally eat, just from the store. Man, Keith, that is awesome. Oats. So, I don't know if I have ever talked to you guys about oatmeal. I do not like oatmeal. Gunshots. For some reason, I can eat it, and it's a great, like tomorrow, if I'm gonna go hiking, keeping in mind that I'm a slow, steady hiker. If I leave before breakfast, my breakfast will be 2 envelopes of whatever instant oatmeal we have. That I will stop and I will fire up the jet boil, or I'll, depending on where I'm at, I'll boil some water and pour it right in the paper sacks, stir it around, and that's what I'll eat out of the little envelope. So it's not that I don't eat it, it's just I don't care for it, and it's a texture issue. So I only eat it, it's not part of my normal diet. I only eat it maybe 10, 15 times a year, almost always at a camp trip, because I'm too lazy to get up and do more breakfast, or it's a late night snack because we're walking, and so that's it. So Tank, you think cracked oats are better? So I know I have a bucket. I will try that. I'll promise. I'll give it a try. Mark, I have no idea if I eat an unsalted potato if it would absorb. So Keith, Rice is not an everyday part of our diet. And wow, they're in a hurry. But it is enough of an issue in our life so it won't be a strange food when we go to eat it. And we eat it enough that I think our digestive systems will deal with it. Clifford, how are you? I'm so excited. I like grits. I don't know if I like grits because I'm from the South and I'm supposed to love grits, or if I really just like them. I mean, I just like them. We eat them a lot at camping. When we're cooking for groups, though, seldom do I make them just for myself. Barbara, that's a really good point. I mean, it doesn't have to be a store-bought food. And I'm blessed right now that one of my really good acquaintances, what am I saying? Some really good friends of mine, they have been my friends for, oh my gosh, 20 years, 22 years. They're wonderful friends of mine, and they have a freeze dryer. And so every now and then they'll run a special batch for me of my normal foods and that makes them relatively inexpensive, except for their time. But their time is given in love, so it's priceless. Mark, so really the only oatmeal that I ever get is like Quaker Oats, just the store-bought blue and red tubs, or the instant oatmeal in the envelopes. Oh wow, Keith, that's another good find. I have really enjoyed. I found an Amish store. It's in Branson, Missouri, so it's a little bit away. Hey Randy, we're talking about Missouri right now. So it's in Branson, and so I've been up there several times. They have bulk spices and bulk noodles and bulk grains. The prices aren't terrible. They're not that good, but as good as the deal you found. But they're good. And what I like about them is, I can't say that because somebody who's going to get one of these as a gift will know. So I can't say that. You'll have to wait for my Christmas videos. Arkansas living, I do several things that I get from the feed store. That's where I get my corn. That's where I get my wheat. And a night like tonight, nice dry night. The humidity is probably only in the 30s and windy. Oh man, it is such a great time to sort through wheat because of the wind. And I don't sort it a lot. I mean, because to me, if I'm grinding up the chaff or the chaff or however you want to say it, the bits and pieces, then they're just going to be filler in the bread. Yeah, Zub, I agree. The military ones are better for sure. But like I say, at $3 a meal, I'll take what I can get and be excited about it because they've gotten really expensive around here. Mostly Peaceful Conservative. I like the name. Half a cup of oatmeal or rice. So I eat rice pretty regular in the morning. But I like rice with just a little milk on it. And I mean, it makes it nice. Nice and easy because I've got a little rice cooker it's small. And there's an emergency call at home. Mark, I have not tried steel cut or rolled oats. I'm sure I've got a bag of them. I may even have a bag in my kitchen pantry. My daughter, she's a self-proclaimed foodie, and that's what she likes. Lone Wolf, I like some of those too. That's actually, I think that's what, I mean, I say that like I don't know. That's what Scout uses in his bag, or those for a snack, because he'll put just water out of his canteen in there. He doesn't even heat it. He just lets it sit in his side pouch for a long time until he thinks they're ready, and then he just gobbles them down. So Mark, you're talking about the texture in steel cut up oats. The texture is my issue with oatmeal. So you may have solved a problem for me just by that recommendation. Hey Arkansas Whoop Ass, how are you? I came, that place where we usually bump into each other. I was looking around to say hi to you the other day. Arkansas Living, so there is a place, and I haven't been there yet. I've just started making contact with them. That is a seed place in south central Missouri. I don't remember the town that it's in. Gosh darn it. But I was talking to them about beans, and so maybe I'll have a lead and I'll share it with you. For sure, I'll share it when I have it. Arkansas Whoop Ass, you went to night shift. So hopefully that's still why the place is open and I can say hello. I really enjoyed talking to you at the preparedness fair. That was a blessing. Made my whole day. So Barbara, you're asking, have I used cook wheat or the berries? Yes. So I'll warm milk, like just before it simmers, almost boils. I'll add in about a half a cup of wheat berries, and I'll let them cook, or there's a term for it. Cook works. Golly, it's some like steep or anyway. I'll let them soften, and then I'll cook them, and I'll either put in a little powdered sugar or just a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it, and then I eat it like a porridge, and I like it. Sometimes I get crazy and I'll put some honey in there, and I love it. I have not used it in chili though. I will have to do some research and find out about that. So Keith, mostly, unless I'm ordering off online, then I just go to the local farmer's co-op or feed store, and I just tell them I'm planting a field of wheat for like a deer field, and that's what I use. And when I compare that to my polished wheat that I bought for $55-$60 a bucket, I can barely tell the difference. And I'm certain when I'm hungry or when I'm grinding, like the few times that I've actually grind it, there's been no difference. Good evening, Arkansas Prepper Network. So Barbara, you're talking about in like my normal chili, just instead of meat, throw in wheat berries, like the same amount. Like if I'm using a pound of ground beef and a pound of sausage, put in 2 pounds of wheat berries. I'm not doubting it at all. I mean, it just sounds intriguing. Urban Outdoors. I wish I didn't have this trailer. I could drop my tailgate and show you what I put your sticker in the prominent spot on my cooler. Wheat berries are just the kernel of the wheat. And I started, and don't be honored, Urban Outdoors, please don't. I'm honored that you watch my stuff and your content is great. You're so well rounded on things. I just enjoy all of it. And the same things that frustrate you frustrate me. And so even when you go on a rant, you're like, I know people are going to get mad about this. I love it. I watch every second of them. Okay, so Barbara's talking about adjusting my my chili recipe. I'm looking for stuff to do tomorrow. I may just make a thing of chili and try that. So, Peaceful Conservative, your rice-a-roni and Ziploc bags, something that I do that I love, I love, is I'll take a gallon Ziploc bag and then everything fits in it. I'll take either a can of chicken or those Mylar envelopes of chicken, which is still canned chicken. But so I'll take chicken, I'll take an envelope of rice-a-roni, or not rice-a-roni, stovetop stuffing, and then an envelope of flavored mashed potatoes. And then I'll boil water and I'll put the dry ingredients in first and the chicken, and I'll stir it, and then I'll put just enough boiling water to get it to the consistency I want. I seal the bag. I knead it like Play-Doh, roll it up, let it sit and warm up, and yeah, I love it. I fold the bag back and go to town. See, Tank, I can see doing that in soup. I mean, that makes perfect sense. I mean, like instead of, what is it? My daughter made some soup with some, I can't say it right, kiwana or something. Kind of like couscous, but it wasn't. And it worked out great. So, APN, it depends on the wheat. So, I mean, you've got summer wheats and you've got winter wheats, and it kind of depends on soft or hard. So really, there's a lot more to it than I can say right now. And their soil type makes a big difference too. So knowing where you're at, I could probably get with my extension office and they'll tell me when to plant wheat. I don't plant it because I don't have enough. I say that. I don't want to work hard enough to plow enough land to plant enough wheat to do anything other than I plant some on the windowsill, because as it grows into sprouts, I'll trim it and I'll put wheat sprouts on my sandwiches. Turkey sandwich with guacamole and sprouts is delicious to me. Chili is always better the next day. You are so right. Mark Chase, if you just give Arkansas living a little bit of time, he will go somewhere near a Walmart, and that's all it takes. And he's off and running. And I'm sitting there going, right, I'm singing to him like a preacher. I'm like, you are so right. So just wait till he has to go to a big box store. That's all it takes. So Lone Wolf, if I don't know how far behind I am on the comments, but Lone Wolf's asking about coffee for bartering. I don't drink coffee. Other than a glass of tea twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, I pretty much only drink water and milk. And so for me, coffee has never been a priority until till Bobo. When Bobo and I started becoming friends, that's also the same time that I was transitioning in my heart from militant militia to homesteading preparedness. And that comes, I guess, because I was getting older. And so it wasn't until about then that I realized the value of having coffee, not only to take care of the people I care about and keep them sane, but also I have enough and I have it packaged in such a way that I can definitely barter some. And so I'm not a coffee snob, obviously, since I don't drink it. I've had half a cup in my entire life. And so really what I have for bartering is not high quality coffee. It is not bear approved coffee. It's like freeze dried coffee. So it's, I don't know, some people may not even call that coffee, but Barbara says it's easier to buy wheat in a bucket than it is to grow it. I agree, but I buy it in a bag at the feed store and then I put it in a bucket myself. I'm laughing at a post, Arkansas Livings. Don't even start. So Urban Outdoors is saying with all the shortages that are already happening, do I think bartering will be a real thing? Most definitely. I, it already has been for me. And I know it's so stupid. For almost all of us here on this channel, oh, I gotta say, Arkansas Whoop Ass, have a good night. Thanks for popping in. So, as the pandemic started and people started realizing they were doing without things, and they were all luxury items, toilet paper, for instance. I didn't buy a gallon of gas for a while. I'm like, well, yeah, I've got, I've got a couple boxes of that. And so I traded my neighbor. Of course, he had a plethora of gasoline on his farm. So we traded his wife butt wipe for gasoline for my vehicles. I don't see it getting any better. I think bartering will become more of a thing. And that's why I think it's so important that we all learn to grow things. And if you can have chickens, you have chickens. If you can have a cow, you have a cow. And I know most people can't have big livestock, but it's whatever you can have, whatever you can grow, whatever you can produce, whatever skills you can barter, I think are important. Tank is right. Easy to grow, hard to harvest. Manually intensive harvest. APN, Mountain Dew is the worst liquid you can pour in your gut. I don't watch a whole lot. Oh, I'm referring to Peaceful Conservative said, I'm running to the woods when they start sending the drones after us. I did not see the video of the one city during the Facebook blackout. Yeah, Mark's commenting on bartering is very, very real in Venezuela and has been for several years. Oh, toilet paper is the most most luxury of all the luxury items that I can imagine. But yeah, brown washcloths in a Ziploc, very washable. So Clifford, boy, I'm way behind, but the best items that I think for bartering is, the best thing I think of is skills. I am not a mechanic. If I need something fixed, I've got to barter for it. Whether it's trading silver, gold, I don't have gold. Whether it's trading silver, whether it's trading food, whether it's trading, my skill set, or, stuff that I have. I think skills are going to be the most bartered item, and followed by the coffee, alcohol. Those are things that I see and have seen people all over the world that when they can get it, they'll trade for it. Mark Chase, the same thing with chocolate. If you can create chocolate, or if you have a way to store chocolate in a reasonable fashion, what parent isn't going to want to go be able to give their child a special treat on their birthday? We're all going to want to do that. We do it now for our spouses and our friends and family. That's not going to be different. It'll just be harder to come by. Yeah, Keith, talking about the green coffee beans, several of my friends do it. A guy named Gordy, which several of you know, Gordy stores green coffee beans. He stores green beans too, but green coffee beans. And I don't really know. I don't focus on that because I don't drink it. I don't want to know how to roast them. I know that's terrible. But that's not something I'm devoting a chunk of my mind to right now. Maybe later. I may find that I really like it, actually, but AP and right on. Skills, ethics, and honesty. Unfortunately, I believe that the ethics and honesty are going to be few and far between. So, several folks have mentioned that skills are it. And that's exactly right. Materials are going to come and go. But if you have the skills to grow food, if you have the skills to build things, if you have the mechanical knowledge to make something function, if you have the knowledge to make something out of raw materials, if you have the knowledge to gather raw materials, I think that'll be the biggest assets. APN, I agree. They'll get weeded out, but unfortunately, they won't get weeded out soon enough that some of us will be burned. And I hate that. I don't want it. And I am not the person in my mag group to defend us against that. I'm the guy that goes, that guy's got a cut on his arm. Get out of my way. Let me take care of him. This person's got a sprained ankle. Give me a minute. I can help them. And knowing that is why I have people that protect me in my group. So Keith, you built a water distillery. So I did not build this, and it requires electricity. But the neatest thing that I have in my preps at the moment, the thing that I am the most enamored with is a water distiller. It's like a coffee pot burner. Either I've done a video on it and it's already posted, or it's scheduled to post. It's great. Now, we use distilled water in my home every day for CPAP machine. So my wife uses about a gallon a week just for that. And it's a couple of bucks. It's not a lot, but it's the fact that we have to go out to get it. And then we have to store it, and we have to store it separate than tap water, regular water. Well, we don't have to anymore. I can take rainwater and I can distill it, and I can put that in a machine, and it's amazing. It was a gift from Prepping in Progress, totally out of agape love that he has. Because it was something that I know he and his family had used for many years, and the situation changed in their house and they needed room, and instead of selling it or just tossing it, he drove 3 hours to bring that to me and met me, and he's like, Travis, I love you, I know you need this. And he just blessed me. I'm blessed right now by the thought of it. Stephen at Prepping in Progress, I love him. He's a wonderful guy. So I'm pretty certain that if I didn't have, because of the construction, it's all stainless steel and it's in water containers. Like, the heating chamber is here, and I really believe with just a short piece of copper extension, I can separate them and I can wood fire the primary chamber, even if I don't have electricity. And of course, the distilled side of it is not mechanical to begin with. It's just a few water valves. And so the fact that they separate is really easy. I see that being easy, even to the point if I had to pour it in while it's boiling, or pipe it in, not pour it in the top, because I would lose the steam. But there's a vent on the back, and they're not overly difficult to build if you have the materials and you've already got a plan. You've already got your fittings, all that. Then they can be easy and fun to build. My next project that I'm trying to do is, and I saw this on, oh dang it, I forgot. Hey Lone Star, how are you? What is his name? Engineer 335 maybe. He used to be with Southern Prepper 1. They kind of grew apart several years ago. But he did a wood burning hot water system that filled a hot water tank off of a wood burning stove. And it was awesome. I want that. Yeah, 775. Thank you so much. So he did this wonderful video on how to do that, step by step, piece by piece, and it was great. He is super intelligent, and I love that. I actually have in my preparedness notebook, I've got the plans written down. I have all the parts for it in a box. I just haven't found a hot water heater. I now have a wood stove. I have a round, I guess it's about that big around and about that long, that I can wrap copper coils around. That's a project for this winter. I can't wait to share that with you guys. So I didn't tank. I'm going back up a little bit. I didn't even think about an adapter for the top of my canner. That's even easier. I can do that with literally just copper tubing. Super good idea. Like, that may be the plan for if I go to the store tomorrow. APN, there are always too many projects. So Mark Chase is asking, I guess I'm almost caught up with their things, but if I've thought about getting a GRMS license for my family, I have the little piece of paper printed out. I just haven't. They all have them already in their bug out bags. We already have them in the house, in the barn. We already have one on the four-wheeler, which I'm blessed. I got a four-wheeler from my dad when he passed away. Otherwise, I wouldn't have that, which has been several years ago. I didn't mean like it happened yesterday. However, I didn't know that we could go up to 50 watts with that. That definitely makes me want to look more into it. So somebody explained to me the filling the copper tubing with sand. Is it just when I'm coiling it? Or because I've never filled copper with sand, and I've, in regular plumbing, which you're not making very many circles, and I've got a tube bender, that I can bend however I want, but okay, just so to give it structure while you're bending the shape. Got it. I understand. So Airman Outdoors is asking a question that is near and dear to my heart. Where's the best place for a person to learn hands-on first aid skills? CPR, the Heimlich maneuver, stop the bleed, etc., to quote him. So the best place isn't always the easiest place. The best place is to go take a class at a community college, at a fire academy, and it's called EMR, Emergency Medical Responder, or First Responder. But that's not where I would start, but that's the best place, because those instructors are the ones that they focus on the hands-on learning. Stop the Bleed is a website all on its own. There's some great places. Bear Independent incorporates Stop the Bleed into his thing. APN's right, I'm a Stop the Bleed instructor. I'm not the best one. There's some awesome ones out there. I don't suck at it, but I'm not the best one. I'm probably the cheapest one, but I'm not the best one. There's people that have more combat experience than I do for that. But I can't wait to show you guys what's holding my phone up that's blowing away. But so start with American Heart Association or Red Cross. American Heart Association has a more comprehensive, more technical CPR class. They also have a first aid class and an AED class. They're geared more towards emergency medicine and emergency services, which in my mind is what we want to know. Then you can go to the Red Cross, has wonderful standard first aid classes, and then they have a first aid for the professional rescuer. It costs a little bit of money. And then right there, ARC APN, that's what I'm going at right now. And then the Red Cross always has step-ups. So they actually even have a wilderness first aid class, which is a lot of hands-on. It's about $400 and it's several days. You've got the National NOLS. What is NOLS? National Wilderness Medicine Association. That are great. Hey, buddy. Scout, he's coming for snacks, because even teenagers need snacks. It's not just for the little kids at soccer. So those are the basic places. I would do standard first aid, a CPR class. CPR is 1,000,000% for today. In a disaster, I'm not doing CPR. That's a whole discussion on itself. That's the part of my heart that's black. Your medical guys on your teams and in your crews have to have some black heart in them. It sucks. But for today, for right now, CPR saves lives every day. AEDs, automatic external defibrillators, save lives every day. They are so easy. It's like a toaster. They tell you what to do. You hit a button. You can't mess it up. You can't fry somebody. You can't shock them if they don't need it. So Red Cross and American Heart Association both have CPR, AED, and standard or basic first aid. Then do professional rescuer or EMR at either a community college, fire academy, or the Red Cross's professional rescuer. And then, by then, you're going to be so excited about it. It's time to do EMT or wilderness first responder or wilderness EMT. There's lots out there. And I do not mind one bit for your area. Go to nwaprepper.com, or if you have my other emails, message me and go, Travis, I live in this part of the world. I want you to help me find this. And I will help you find any training. And I have some pretty decent resources on where to find training. So, Clifford, naturally you would ask a tough question. Why is CPR not as relevant for an SHTF situation? Mostly because as a rescuer, as a provider of care, I have to weigh my ability to do most good for the most number of people. And so if I have a limited number of resources, I have a limited number of personnel, I have all this limitations in a true grid down situation, I do not have what it takes to support that person definitive care, long-term care after a cardiac event. And then it's just with no definitive care or hospital care, I don't have the medicines that they'll need. I don't have the ability to do the lab work to see what I need for them. And even the consumables that I can help them with are only going to help them short term. And they're, and of course there are always exceptions. And so it's today I'm going to work a code or I'm going to do CPR until I absolutely am physically exhausted or somebody shows up to relieve me. Because I don't know what God has planned. My very first, we call them code saves in emergency medicine. My very first code save after years in emergency medicine was my own father. I went home for no reason. I hadn't been home in months. I showed up and I was upstairs. My mom banged on the door, said, "Get down here, something's wrong with your dad." I went downstairs. He was unresponsive and pulseless. I did CPR, and just CPR revived him, and we got to spend another 15 years with him. In a grid down situation, I might do that and it might work great, but in a true, I mean, Mad Max zombie apocalypse, I'm not going to utilize the resources, because if that's going on, there's probably other things I can have. Am I gonna use my epinephrine on a patient that's already dead that I'm just trying to revive, or am I going to save it for an allergic reaction that I can totally manage? It's two different types of epi. There's a whole bunch to it, but I don't know. And that's just what I've been taught, and I believe in that. And so hopefully in my life I will never see a grid down situation and never have to deal with that. So the best place to buy AEDs, I saw several recommendations in the comments below. When you're buying a reason, I would for sure look at what your area uses. And like in my area, my emergency services uses Life Packs, which is a model, a Physio Control is the brand name, or a Life Pack. I think they're Life Pack 15s or 20s, I don't know. I would try to get something that's compatible with those. So the consumables, the pads that I use, the wires that I use are compatible with emergency services in my area. So that's what I would do, is whatever brand your emergency medical services or your fire department uses, I would just ask them. They'll be glad to tell you or show you and get one comparable. So with an AED use, almost always, if they're in a shockable rhythm, then they need medications to maintain that or to correct that. And I don't have those medicines. And so it would be a short-term thing. I have an AED, I'm going to use it. That literally takes very little. And if it tells me to do it, I'll do it. But the cost per an AED, even a value AED today is, $1,200, $1,500. That is a whole lot of other medical equipment and consumables. Hey, Alan. However, so let's go back to this CPR and AED use in a grid down situation. If I have nothing else going on, if there is no other building collapses or mass casualty event, or if it is, we're in camp and somebody goes down, I'm sure I'm going to do CPR. Sure, I'm going to use some airways that I have, OPAs and MPAs, some other things that paramedic ninjas come out of the trees, and if they use, that's great too. They have a tendency to come use their skills and leave. I don't know where they go. But yeah, there's always something caused the cardiac arrest, something caused the cardiac dysrhythmia, and it usually takes medication to fix that. I don't have the labs to determine what it is. I don't have a good enough understanding of how to do that. Now, a cardiac nurse maybe go, well, that's silly. This is one of the most important things to have. All about it. If I was blessed to have a cardiac nurse join our MAG group, and she's like, we need another AED, because we only have one. We need another AED. We need 6 sets of pads, and we need, these supplies. We would get whatever she said, because her knowledge is greater than mine in that area. And so what you do in an emergency or in a disaster may be different than what I do, because of our level of training and comfort in our skills. And so every one of our answers will be somewhere in a different line on that, just like it is in a lot of things. Oh my gosh. So I am going to go to this ball game and see Scout and see how it's going. You guys, thank you so much. I really just popped in what I thought was going to be a 15-minute thing, and it's been an hour and 10 minutes. And there's 13 of you here. You guys are amazing. The discussion we've had has been great. My mind's going 100 miles an hour. I've already got a list right here of what I want to do. I am going to take a minute, so I'm going to move the phone to that MRE, and I'm going to show you. There'll be a video coming on it soon. This is a tool to help you shut or to take corn. You put your ear of corn in there. This holds it in place. And this blade, well, this comes out. This blade takes all your kernels off an ear of corn. I hope it works as well as I want it to work. I hope. So there was a question I'm going to answer before I go. So high blood pressure in an off-grid situation, number one thing is I think you should have, if you're on medication now, you should have extra medication. Simple as that. However you need to do it, ask your doctor for an extra script. Skimp one every now and then when you know you're feeling right. And there are lots of other things. Eyeball pressure, not like poke your eyes out. Those are some thing. That's a whole video. I gotta go. You guys are the great. Let's get ready.